Happy holidays. Happy New Year, everyone. Today, we're taking a look back at some of the most compelling Chad and Lori Daybell segments of 2023 here on the Hidden Killers podcast.
This is an examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers podcast
with Tony Brueski.
Psychotherapist and author Siobhan Scott is joining us. We're talking about Lori Vallow Daybell. Lori now asking for a new trial. I guess, it's not that surprising. This is how these sort of motions go and such once you're found guilty of murdering your children. Siobhan, do you think that this new motion for a new trial will really go anywhere?
I would not imagine we're going to see anything really happening. I think the lawyers are probably trying to come up with anything they can think of at this point. So, what are the odds of a new trial? Pretty slim. But I think the world was sort of waiting for the defense, and to hear whatever testimony would be given. And since none was given, maybe there's just not a lot left for them to do.
That's what I was surprised by. It's like, well, there really wasn't a defense put up, so why are we asking for a new trial?
Yeah.
It's not like you tried and failed. You just didn't do
They
one.
didn't try.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that I found interesting. What do you think we're going to be seeing here in her psychological state as it evolves, if it evolves at all, leading up to Chad's trial, either later in the year or early next year?
It would be interesting to know what's happening with her medication-wise and with her behavior. She sure doesn't look physically like the woman she was even before her arrest. It just looks like this time in prison has been very hard for her. And I imagine that she's going to continue to have some psychological deterioration as she can't use these grandiose delusions to make herself feel better anymore. There's no denying that she is in prison for life. And, the whole story about being a goddess or whatever, I think that gave her emotional satisfaction for a long time, as wacky as it was. And I don't think she can fall back on those delusions anymore. So I think her life has just got to be hell right now.
That's interesting, because I wonder about that. If she's still sitting there thinking she's a goddess and at some point something will change. I mean, given her religious beliefs, how might Lori interpret or understand the concept of justice as it applies not only to her, but into Chad's trial as well?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's the whole thing, how she could rationalize the murder of the kids, the killing of Charles. I mean, all these things have been so bizarre, and how to rationalize and spiritualize all of that really indicates somebody is not in their right mind. But at this point, nothing has worked. And for a long time, she pulled off these incredible bizarre crimes, and she appeared, at least at the time, to be getting away with it. So I think she was feeling validated in her beliefs, like, oh, God really is on my side. Well, there's no fooling herself at this point. When she wakes up in a cell every day and looks at herself in whatever mirror she has, she's not the woman she was a couple of years ago, and her life is essentially over in most ways. So I can't imagine that her mental health is going in a good direction.
Do you think she views herself as like a martyr, and she's in there and she's doing, what the society has damned her for doing, but she's still believing that she's righteous, she did it what was correct, and nobody else understands it but her and Chad or whoever else is in the circle?
She's probably trying to cling to that, you know, and who knows, may have some bizarre belief that, she's locked up because of, demons and this persecutory thing that she gets going all the time. But she's not out laughing and dancing on the beach, she's not out in nice restaurants and wearing pretty clothes. And so all these things that gave her this emotional satisfaction, even though it was all crazy and warped and strange, she's not getting any of that emotional satisfaction now. So I don't imagine she's coping well.
This is the examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski.
Siobhan Scott, thank you for your insight into that case. Always very much appreciated. Hey, if you want to weigh in on anything that we're talking about, our phone number is 888-5-KILLER, 888-5-KILLER. We'd love to hear from you. And if you want to get an ad-free experience of the show and get access to all of our podcasts in their entirety, well, sign up. Sign up to be a premium subscriber to the True Crime Today family through Apple Podcasts right now and get access to everything ad-free. Binge away right now. Go check that out. I'm Tony Brueski. Stay with us.